Hi everybody, Sarah here. So today I'm going to be continuing my series on what do I plan to breed in 2024. I hope that you guys enjoyed the last one. Before I jump in, I want to thank all the members on this channel for making everything possible. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for always being there for me. If anybody else would like to become a member and get some of the perks that I have listed here, you can click join under any video to do so. Also, thank you Reptilings for helping to support this channel. If anybody would like to get a discount on some awesome food for their snakes, you can go to reptilings.com and use my code SarahSnake27 at checkout for that. Also, I have a website, sarahssnakeshop.com, where I sell corn snakes and corn snake accessories. You can also check out Morph Market as well, which is where I post the majority of my snakes up for sale. All of these things are linked in the description down below. Today I'm going to be starting out our list with my female Cola. She is a charcoal with a little bit of zigzags in her. I plan on actually putting her to Nickel, who is my buff anery. This is mostly to find out if she is anery or is het anery. There's always a chance in this line that visual aneries or visual charcoals will actually be visual for both. So I want to test her to see if she is visual anerythristic, and also we'll get some buffs in there. He's also het for Sunkissed, and she's possible het for Sunkissed. She's also, of course, possibly het anery if she's not homozygous anery. So we also have a chance of getting some buff Sunkissed, some more buff aneries, whatever else may come out of that line. The next one on the list is Sprite, who is a ghost female, and I want to breed her to Bark. Bark is actually her anery mask sibling, who is not homozygous hypo. Now, I know that they shared a charcoal parent, so at the very least, I'm going to get aneries and anery masks and anery charcoals, and then of course anery charcoal masks, which anery charcoal is what we call carbon. Now, what I'm actually kind of trying to figure out is if Bark is het hypo or not. I know, of course, that Sprite is visual hypo, but I'm not sure if Bark is het for hypo or not. Their father was a random charcoal that I had gotten from someone, and he might have been homozygous hypo, and I just don't know it. At the very least, that father was het hypo, so I know for sure that that possibility was there. But since Bark bred with Solara this year, and Solara was sold to me as a hypo Sunkissed, but I did not get any hypos at all out of that pairing, I want to know if Bark is het for hypo or not, because if he is het for hypo and breeding to something that was supposed to be a hypo, that should have given me some hypos and it didn't. So that could definitely mean that Solara is actually not visual hypo like I originally thought. But anyway, that's the thought process on breeding those siblings together, is just actually to test to see if a different snake is a visual hypo. The next pairing I have on here is Hoglin breeding to Creeper. Hoglin is another possible het golden from Gelato, Empanada, and all of their offspring. And Creeper is another one that's not related. He's actually related to Vex and some of the other boys on that side that I got directly from Joe Pierce, and they are 100% het golden. So of course I am breeding him to her to find out if she's het golden, but also since she is visual motley and he's het stripe, we'll at least get some nice like visual motleys that are technically motley stripes out of that clutch. The next on the list is Moonshine and Gambit. Gambit is a little bit big, and he's actually not one that I care if I breed too much this year. I have a lot of other males that could take his place, but I'm breeding him to her because I know for sure, at the very least, I will get charcoals. And of course, I will also get charcoal masks because they are both mask. There's also a possibility of diffused, since Gambit is a charcoal diffused. Breeding him to a charcoal mask that's possibly het diffused will tease out if that diffused mutation is actually in there. The next pairing is Tequila and Nacorn. In the last video, I talked about how Nacorn was breeding to Absinthe, who is Tequila's sister. I'm expecting these same things out of this pairing as that pairing. Normals, masks, charcoals, Sunkissed, and the combinations of those, as well as potentially adding anery or diffused in there, is all a possibility from that breeding. The next snake is Aruna. Not a lot of people know that I have this snake either, but she is a normal from the flare line. She's actually technically a mask from the flare line. She just is so low expression. She looks like a normal, but I plan to breed her to Nickel, who is the buff anery, who is known het for Sunkissed. And since Aruna is a mask, we can expect normals, masks, and buffs, and of course like a buff mask as well. And we might also get aneries and Sunkissed depending on if Aruna actually got any of those hets as well, which is another reason that we are doing all these testings, is just to see which snakes carry which mutation. So there's a lot of test breeding this year. The next snake on the list is Jojo. Jojo is either an ultra or an ultramel. She was also sold as being Okati, but I don't really consider her to be an Okati. I plan to breed her to Snaky Jr. And Snaky Jr. is actually the son of a snake that used to be owned by my friend. The snake's name was Snaky, as you can imagine. And I acquired these snakes from my friend, and he said, please breed them so their line can continue. And so this is the best way for me to do that, breeding this nice, dark, bright red A-male, being Snaky Jr., to my very brightly colored Ultra or Ultra Male. Not really sure which one she is. Again, this is also testing her for being either Ultra or Ultra Male. And of course, if she's an Ultra Male, we may also get A-males. So it could go either way. If she's a straight Ultra, we will just get all Ultra Males. If she's an Ultra Male, we will get a combination of Ultra Male and A-male. The next two are Ender and Nether, and I plan to breed them to Ghast and Slime. Ghast and Slime. If you're not noticing the trend here, most of my golden or het golden project snakes are all named after things in Minecraft. The only ones that are not are Empanada and Gelato, which was the ones that actually started this line for me. But everybody other than Empanada and Gelato is named after something in Minecraft. So Ender and Nether are the two females, and I plan to breed them to either Ghast and or Slime. Doesn't really matter which goes to which because we have siblings with siblings. Ender and Nether are normals that are possibly het for golden. I believe it's a 66% possible het. I'm not 100% sure of that, but they came straight from Joe Pierce, and I plan to breed them together again in hopes of getting goldens. The next two, Totem and Redstone, are two more females from that same line that are also siblings to the last two females. I plan to try to breed both of them to Melon Slice, who is another known het golden male that I got from Joe Pierce a few years ago. Now, the reason that I have chosen Melon Slice for these two instead of any of the other boys is because Melon Slice is actually het for lava, and Ender, Nether, Totem, and Redstone are all also het for lava. And so I picked two of those females to go with Melon Slice. I will at the very least get normals and lavas, and also red factors, because technically Melon Slice is also a red factor on top of everything else. And then of course I am hoping that at least one of them would prove to be het golden, and we may end up getting like Landrace line lava goldens at the end of all of this. The next one on the list is Cleo. This is another snake that probably a lot of people don't know that I have. I actually purchased her from the same person that I purchased Nickel from, the Snake Smiths. So if you ever see the Snake Smiths selling anything, he's a really great friend of mine, and I definitely recommend him and his snakes. Cleo and Nickel are not related to each other, but I did get them at the same time. I bought a bunch from him with the intention of reselling them, which I did, but then Cleo came back to me. So I have another unrelated anerythristic female. I believe that she's het for A-male. So I'm actually just going to breed her to either Nectarine or Frangipani. I didn't really have any other females for Nectarine to go to this year, so I picked him because Frangipani is usually very busy since he has so many more gene mutations. And when it comes to Cleo, I really more care about getting some nice snows out of her than I care about getting aneries out of her. So I think I'm going to go with Nectarine for her this year. We will of course get aneries and snows, and then some of those will be halo. Once again, this is going on really long. I had way more pairs than I thought I did. So I'm going to end this video here, and then I will pick back up next week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in a new video soon.